Ladies and gentlemen, we have a traitor alert. Former Conservative member Chris d'Entremont, if I'm saying that correctly, has officially moved over to the Liberal Party of Canada from the Conservatives, giving the Liberal Party one more seat closer to that 172 majority. They were at 169, they're now at 170. There are rumors that others are considering it, which could give the Liberals a majority without even having an election, which you got to think, the people from his riding and the other ridings, if this happens, they got to feel betrayed, right? That they voted in a Conservative member of Parliament, and apparently they can just cross over to the Liberals if they like. I don't know how that is even legal, or, I mean, I guess it is, but it shouldn't be. That's not what happens in a democracy. If you vote for a constituent, that constituent should represent what you voted for. They shouldn't be able to just cross over to the other side. So if you're a Conservative from this man's riding, got to be pretty annoyed with that, as we all should be. That being said, for those of you who are worried about, the Conservatives losing a few more members to give the Liberals a majority, even if they do, yes, they will be able to get things passed and we'll have to wait a little bit longer for an election, but there will also be by-elections that are going to be coming up in the next year or so, and if Mark Carney does what we all think he's going to do, which is destroy this country, they will start to lose those by-elections, other parties will gain support, and then we will have a vote of non-confidence. Well, that's my prediction, at least anyway. So I'm going to have a look at this video here from Mario Zelaya, who says it's official. Chris d'Entremont betrayed his constituents, his party, and his country. Rather than have his constituents decide, via by-election, he took the coward's way out and joined the Liberals, despite being voted in as a Conservative. How can anyone trust him again? And that's the thing. Did he just destroy his political career in the future? I would imagine so. No Conservatives are ever going to trust him again. Rightfully so. And yes, instead of crossing the floor, he should have resigned, therefore triggering a by-election, and then run as a Liberal. But he cowardly just moved across the aisle. Why? Because he thinks that Mark Carney's budget, which was tabled today, is good. Didn't know Conservatives, especially fiscally conservative, loved almost $100 billion of debt, but I guess that's what he likes and that's what he's going to do. So let's have a look at this quick video here from Mario Zelaya.
This is unbelievable and breaking news. It is now official. Chris has resigned from the Conservative caucus and he will be joining the Liberal Party. This is the ultimate betrayal to every single voter that voted him in to represent them in their riding as a Conservative. He was elected to bring down inflation, control the insatiable spending, and he's now going to support the largest budget in Canadian history outside of the pandemic. The Liberal Party is now 2 seats shy from forming a majority government thanks to him. This is a mistake of epic proportions. This to me is Jagmeet Singh level of betrayal. He just betrayed nearly half the country and he won his riding by 1%. He has just lost every single Conservative vote in his riding, and I don't know how the Liberals would ever trust a traitor. This is unbelievable. It's absolutely appalling. You want to know what the honorable thing would be to do? It would be to resign so the people of your riding can make that choice. This is a coward's way out. At the bare minimum, your constituents that voted you in are the ones that should be making that choice. But for you to cross political parties in this manner, during the timing of this disastrous inflationary budget, you are the very definition of a selfish traitor. Insane.
Absolutely. Well said by Mario. It's just, if you live in those ridings, or this guy's riding, I mean, that's got to be really a salty feeling for those people who voted a Conservative but really voted in a Liberal. Not good news. Then Mr. Sunshine posted this. It says, watch, CPC House Leader Andrew Scheer accuses Chris d'Entremont of being salty about not having been re-elected Deputy Speaker. This interview is with Vashti Kaplos, so let's have a look at what Andrew Scheer has to say, and then we'll talk about it.
Mr. Scheer, before I get into your reaction to the budget, I got to ask you, we just got into our inbox. An MP of yours, Chris d'Entremont, has quit caucus, has resigned from caucus. Your reaction to that and what it says about your party?
Well, it's disappointing that Chris d'Entremont has decided that he doesn't want to fight for a more affordable life for Canadians, that he doesn't want to fight inflationary deficits that are driving up grocery prices in his riding. You know, he's now telling constituents that he just got their votes just a few months ago, that now he's in favor of the industrial carbon tax on things like farm equipment and fertilizer, driving up food costs, that he's in favor of fuel standards that the Liberals are imposing that's going to increase gasoline by 17 cents a litre. So, you know, he'll have to go back to the supporters in his riding that dug deep into their own pockets to support his campaign and explain why he took their precious time and resources and then turned their back on them just a few months later.
Might it be that he doesn't think your party's solutions are the correct ones now?
You know, he ran on them in the platform. He saw our platform and he said, yes, I support all this, back in April when Conservatives were offering hope to young Canadians who couldn't find jobs, who had to move back in with their parents, back into their parents' basement. Our platform offered hope for young Canadians. Mark Carney's message is one of sacrifice, that Canadians who have been hammered hard by the cost of living crisis are going to have to sacrifice even more to feed a ever-growing budget, a deficit that's going to add billions to the national debt that has to be paid off with interest. So Mr. d'Entremont's going to have to explain that to his constituents.
And I hope we have definitely requested an interview, and I'll be asking him those questions. But ultimately, what does it say that there might be enough in this budget and the way in which this Prime Minister is governing to satisfy someone who ran just a few months ago as a Conservative? Does that not say something more largely about your
I wouldn't
party?
read too much of that. I know Mr. d'Entremont has had some personal grievances about the fact that, you know, he didn't get elected Deputy Speaker. He's been kind of upset about that. So I'm disappointed that he let his own personal grievances get in the way of his commitment to his constituents, that he would fight for a more affordable budget to bring down the cost of living, to lower the tax burden on Canadians. But again, he's going to have to explain to all the people that he looked in the eye, took their donations, put signs on their lawns, and then explain why he betrayed them just a few months later.
Yeah, that's right. Is he going to give a refund on those donations? Of course not. It's not what they do. They take money from you and then they betray you. What Andrew Scheer said is absolutely right. Every single Conservative MP or potential MP ran on the Conservative platform. Common sense. Criminals get put in jail. You know the platform. And he ran on that and won an election, and now goes, oh yeah, now I like Carney. Pretty sick, but that's the world we live in. Either way, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this absolute despicable traitor. Please don't be shy, and thanks again so much for watching. Please also don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll be back shortly with a new one.